And the Masters of the Universe.
I shudder to think that I almost betrayed you, He-Man, in favor of Skeletor.
Well, but you made the right decision. That's what counts.
The thought of all those riches was awfully tempting. On second thought, I'd rather have your friendship, He-Man, Cringer. In fact, knowing you has made me the richest boy in the world.
And we're much richer for knowing you. Until later.
I thought this would be a lot easier. Oops.
Well, looks like you need some more practice, Orko.
I thought being a juggler in a circus would be easy.
If you really want to be a juggler, or anything else in life, you have to be willing to work at it. So when you find something that you really want to do, then do yourself a favor. Work at it. Really work at it. Spend enough time learning the necessary skills. And I promise you, you'll be surprised at how good you can really be. See you next time.
Bye!
So, children, what did you learn from this story?
Even though Luce is blind, he's just like the rest of us. Yeah, and because he learned to use his other senses, he helped He-Man.
That's right. Just because a person is blind or handicapped, that doesn't mean that they're helpless.
Yeah, they have feelings and want to do stuff like we do, too.
And who knows, you might learn as much from them as they do from you.
Today we learned there's no such thing as getting even. Even if someone does something to you and you get back at him.
And he gets back at you.
And you get back at him.
And he gets back at you.
And you get back at him again.
And he...
So you see, it never stops. No one is really getting even at all. The best thing to do is talk it over and start fresh. Now, you were going to say something?
See you next time.
We learned today that there are right ways and wrong ways of getting what you want. If someone has something you want, say a toy you'd like to play with, or maybe some candy or cake, don't just take it. That's stealing. And chances are you'll only bring out the anger in the other person. But if you ask rather than take, or if it's yours, offer to share, you'll get back more than you give. Like maybe even a new friend. Right, Orko? See you next time.
Sometimes when your parents punish you, you may think they don't love you. Well, that isn't true. They don't punish to be mean, but to teach you. They hope you'll remember the punishment and not do wrong in the future. If I didn't love Orko, I wouldn't care what he did.
I'm glad Man-at-Arms cares enough to correct me when I do wrong. How else am I going to learn? I know he loves me, even if he doesn't say it all the time.
Yeah, well, it's time to go.
Bye!
Being strong and powerful is wonderful, but you know what? There are some things even more wonderful. Things like imagination and intelligence. In today's story, it wasn't He-Man's muscle that saved us. It was more Adam's clever mind and quick thinking. Exercising so you can be as strong as possible is a good idea. But exercising your mind, like reading books and, yes, doing your homework, that's also a very good idea. Think it over. Today, Orko nearly made a terrible mistake by not listening to that small voice in all of us that tells us right from wrong, our conscience. When Orko decided to impress Driel, he suspected that he might be doing something wrong. Whenever you're in doubt about what you should or shouldn't do, stop for a moment and listen to your conscience. It'll usually tell you what's right or wrong. But just in case you're still not sure, talk it over with your family or someone else who cares about you. See you soon.
You know, a big part of growing up is learning to respect other people's property. When Smudge lost all his money gambling, he gambled with someone else's property, and that's when things went from bad to worse. If you want to use something that belongs to someone else, ask their permission. Well, if you don't, you may get more than you bargained for. Right, Orko?
Well, right you are.
Today we learned that sometimes our responsibilities can seem too much to handle. When a job seems bigger than we are, it's easy to be discouraged, to give up. But sometimes if you try, really try, you can do it. When you come right down to it, there's only one thing others can expect of us, and that we can expect of ourselves, to do our best. See you next time.
In our our story today, Squanch learned a valuable lesson. Squanch exaggerated and made up stories, which caused people a lot of trouble. And later, when he needed people to believe him, they didn't. You know, Squanch made up stories to make people think that he was important. And what he learned was, we're all important. Every one of us. Goodbye for now.
You know, sometimes we think of people as being all good or all bad. Well, we shouldn't. Very few people are all bad. It may be hard to find, but if you look for it, chances are you'll find some good in most everyone.
And the best way to start is to never judge anyone by the way they look, but rather by what they do. Actions speak louder than words or appearances. It's something to reflect on. So long!
Do you know someone who uses drugs the way Jono used that flower? Drugs can be dangerous because of the effect they can have on the mind and body. The price one pays for the feeling a drug gives can be a loss of control, hurting someone you love, or something much worse. People often get sick playing with drugs. Some even die. Never take drugs from other people, even if a close friend says it's all right. Check with someone who really loves you. See you next time.
Today, Farron learned a valuable lesson about the difference between pretending and lying. Everyone likes to pretend, but when you start pretending like Farron did, that's lying. And sooner or later, lies have a way of catching up with you. Eventually, no one will believe you, even though you're telling the truth. So remember, tell the truth and be yourself.
Oh, good. Does that mean I don't have to be Battle Cat anymore?
No, Cringe, sorry. See you next time.
Today, I want to talk to you about winning and losing. When Granomir had his fiery tug-of-war with another dragon, he won fair and square and stopped. He let go, because as soon as you take advantage of being a winner, you really lost. Remember, it's important to be a good loser, but sometimes it's just as important to know how to be a good winner. Winning is no excuse for bad manners. See you next time.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like if time did stand still? The flowers and the plants would never develop to their full potential. And neither would you. Time is important to everyone. Plants, animals, and you. As you grow, you learn. And as you learn, you change and develop. And that development is the thing that determines your future. So time is our friend. If we use our time wisely, we'll enjoy all the good things that life has to offer.
Today, we discovered that getting what you want isn't always a good thing. When we like something, particularly something sweet, it's easy to want more and more. But nearly every time, if you have too much of something, no matter how much you want it, you'll find that it disagrees with you. So next time you see some candy, remember, you can have too much of a good thing.
Except me, of course. Right, Man-at-Arms?
We'll talk about it later. See you next time.
Well, Orko, did you learn a lesson?
I sure did. That sometimes fairy tales can come true.
My lesson was more difficult. With Teela's help, I learned to look past my ugliness, because the truth is that no matter how you look, you're only as ugly or as beautiful as the way you act.
A hard lesson for sure, but you learned it well.
Hi, kids. I wanted to talk to you for a moment about today's show. You saw me playing tricks on my enemies. All sorts of tricks. And it was pretty funny. But sometimes people try to play tricks on each other for fun. Well, it isn't. Lots of times a trick can scare our friends or even hurt them. So play it safe and leave the tricks to the pros like me.
Today's story was make-believe. You know that Earth was never really in any danger, but you can still learn something very important from today's adventure. Andrea and Colonel Blaze would never have accomplished their mission if He-Man and his friends had not joined together to help them. Helping others is a wonderful thing, and when you do, you're really also helping yourself. You see, for one thing, it makes you feel good. Who knows? The next time, you may be the one who needs the help.